Not to let the NPCs do the talking. God, why is that in the middle of nowhere? This closest? Feels like it. I guess I'll find out. Oh yeah, I also need to get a hold of a chest with a piece of furniture then. Apparently doing house renovation. Jump, you fool. Yeah, I've gotten all the rewards from Gaming.
Take it easy.
Get the teapot. God, what an inconsequential question. And I really want to know. Oh, you better not fuck me. Interesting choice of place. Why are we here?
Place?
Yes, that.
Somewhere long forgotten by everyone. It used to be a grand building. Now it's nothing more than a pile of rubble.
I've heard ground building, not grand.
Nor does anyone care about what once happened here. Although, this place does have something to do with the story I'm about to tell you.
Why are there so many characters who talk like this?
And before Linny and the others joined the House of the Hearth, due to certain
Sounds pretty close to Rydington.
I first killed Clairvy and then her mother. And this is where it all happened.
Jesus,
You
okay.
were the one that killed Clairvy?
Well, that's pretty extreme.
Patience now. Allow me to explain Clairvy's side of the story first. I'll start from the beginning.
Can she be here to do it herself?
Clairvy was 6 years old when she was brought by her mother, Crucibina, to live in the House of the Hearth.
What a name.
From the outside, it seemed like a fairy tale.
Right, you know.
A thriving family made up of kind adults and friendly children. Crucibina was the knave at that time, and the House of the Hearth was under her control. She was Clairvy's mother by blood, but she was also the mother to all the children in the house. Clairvy
By
was
obligation.
happy here, for a time. But she quickly realized that being part of this family wasn't a fairy tale at all. It was a kind of purgatory.
How do you define that?
Exactly. The House of the Hearth takes in war orphans from all over Teyvat. But as for how to raise them, that depends entirely on the person in charge. Crucibina came up with a novel idea. She would teach the children to fight, force them to duel each other, and then crown as the king of the house the child who proved themselves most worthy of inheriting her title. It's difficult to estimate the number of children who died or were maimed
That's
in
like
the process.
actually
I can say about the ones who
Lord of the
died.
Flies.
The ones that emerged with permanent injuries, on the other hand, well, they still served a purpose. They would be
A
handed
reminder.
over to the doctor to be experimented on.
Jesus.
Or sent away on dangerous missions. Nothing more than tools to be used and then discarded.
So those were the experiments Clairvy was talking about. But what actually happened to her? You said that Clairvy was Crucibina's daughter, so if Clairvy tried to convince her to stop what she was doing, Crucibina probably would have listened, right?
Nope.
Despite being Clairvy's mother, Crucibina cared little for her daughter. She forced Clairvy to join the House of the Hearth only as a means to demonstrate her own impartiality as a mother, to prove that she treated all her children equally. Clairvy did try to convince her mother to change her ways, but it was to no avail. After her efforts failed, the only other option was to rise up and try to fight back. Unfortunately, the other children had already been thoroughly indoctrinated into the illusion of happiness Crucibina had created. Of course,
Nice.
there was one exception. Someone Clairvy's age who knew the truth about the House of the Hearth. Her name was FRFR.
Wait, the friend that Clairvy mentioned?
Friend, huh? I suppose we can call her that for now. Clairvy was a cheerful and passionate person with a tenacious spirit. Peruere, on the other hand, was rather cold-blooded. Her cold-blooded nature allowed her to see through Crucibina's facade.
She looks kind of familiar. Can't
It
quite
was
put my finger
also
on
this
it.
cold-bloodedness that prevented her from acting against it. At least at first. While Clairvy longed for freedom, Peruere was convinced that, amid all the fighting and violence, she would make it until the end. Despite their differences, the two became fast friends, united by their knowledge of the truth. Clairvy told Peruere that she hoped to create a real family, where no one would be killed or sacrificed. There may have been a certain naivete to her ideas, but Clairvy proved her determination many times over. She tried countless times to run away, ask for help, or expose the truth. But her efforts only earned her beating after beating. The only thing that kept her going was her strength of will. Even with her body racked with pain, she would still stand on her tiptoes and open the window at night. She and Peruere would look out at the moon together, a fierce longing for freedom shining in her eyes. But one day that light simply vanished.
Oh no. What happened?
Her hopelessness resulted from a culmination of things. 10 years had passed. 10 years worth of failure after failure. She and Peruere weren't children anymore, but finding any chance to escape still seemed as hopeless as ever. It was during this time that Peruere suggested a new plan. If escaping was out of the question, why not take down the very person sitting on top of this throne of lies? Mother herself. Clairvy rejected that proposal. She claimed that, as a famous harbinger, Crucibina possessed an unimaginable amount of power. Trying to kill her would have an incredibly low chance of success. Clairvy never gave another reason, but Peruere could see it written all over her face. Clairvy still thought of Crucibina as her mother. Killing her own flesh and blood was a line she couldn't bring herself to cross. If she couldn't escape and fight back,
Weakling.
then only one option remained.
Ugh.
Precisely. Death was the only way that she felt she could be free. It happened during a duel. When she arrived at the dueling ring that day, her partner turned out to be none other than Peruere, the very person that had stood by her side all those years. It was a fierce battle. But ultimately, Clairvy decided to let Peruere end her life.
Quite the executive decision. Fair back. Did the music go?
From that moment on, Paraware's journey was one written in
Was never there to begin
flames.
with.
When the rain finally came and washed it all away, there she stood, the sole victor in Mother's endless game of slaughter. A trail of corpses strewn across her path to success. It was the very result she had predicted 10 years prior. Even then, she believed she would make it until the end. She wasn't surprised by the fact that she emerged as Mother's undisputed heir. Rather, her success left her with an inexplicable sense of restlessness. She was unsettled. And there was only one thing that could quell that sensation.
Maybe.
Perhaps you two would like to take a guess as to what it was?
That decision.
You
Beanie?
But-
The meanie
Correct.
linguini crucibini?
This is the place where Peruware killed her best friend. A mere year later, this is also the place where she fought tooth and nail to kill the mother they shared. The moment she acted, any conception of what was right or wrong ceased to matter. It's one of the principles of the house. Only those who survive get to write the rules. Peruware won the battle and became a harbinger herself, after which Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa, bestowed upon her a new name. Arlecchino.
So the
Never
parent
heard of her.
Clairvy was talking about, it was you all along. You're Peruware. Arlecchino is just a name you got later.
Hmm?
I left that name behind long ago. I must say, hearing it now does bring back memories. After I defeated Crucibina, the moniker of Mother died with her. I chose to forego the title she called herself and even chose to give up my own name. I rebuilt the House of the Hearth under a new identity. Not only as Arlecchino, but as father.
Yeah, that's different enough to forget the other parts.
And that is where the story ends. Any more questions?
Eh,
Yeah. Based on what you just told us, Clairvy wasn't a little kid when she was killed. So the Clairvy we met, was she really a spirit at all?
I suppose you could call her an illusion born of flame. Her existence is like ashes to a fire. Something left over in the wake of blaze and ruin.
getting poetic.
You see, a certain power runs through my veins. It's not unlike a curse. My flames leave behind shadows of anything they consume. Of course, the chances of those shadows morphing into a sentient entity are exceedingly slim. Clairvy is a very special case. Clairvy died when she was 16 years old, but what emerged from the flames was her 6-year-old self. Her appearance wasn't the only thing affected. Most of her
Last 10
memories
years.
were lost to the blaze as well. Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self. Lose 10 years' worth, however, and it would be like living in the past. Like returning to a version of yourself that never grew up.
No wonder
Ooh.
Paimon got such a weird feeling when we were talking to her.
Perhaps I
What
should
are you
put it
implying?
this way. Clairvy is someone trapped in time. It may seem like she exists with us in the present, but she truly lives in the confines of her own past.
So if all of that is true, then you must have known about Clairvy for a long time.
Indeed. She's a rather volatile and unstable entity. Sometimes she would look after the children. She's even saved some of their lives. But other times, she would
Interesting.
hide from me and become obsessed with revealing the truth about the house to anyone who will listen.
Ah, back to your
Shadows
old
don't have the
self.
capacity to learn or grow. Any new information they encounter is quickly forgotten over time. Your attempts to expose Clairvy to sunlight. They failed, yes. The reason is actually quite simple. In Clairvy's mind, the house is impossible to escape, and it is this very perception that traps her there. But no matter. All I have to do is kill her again, and all will be resolved.
Jesus!
I don't anticipate so much as a single speck of ash will be left behind this time.
Wait! I can understand why you might want her gone, but isn't there another way?
Water.
She's trapped in her 6-year-old self. She's still your friend. At least talk to her first.
Make her?
It's too late for that. She broke the rules, and now she must be punished. That goes for Filial and Nantoy as well. She's had quite the effect on them. I hope you understand. The difference between Crucibina and myself lies in our formulation of the rules, not our policy for enforcing them. Upholding the rules without question is a trait we both share, because that is how a household should be run.
What?
Is
Gonna
this
voice up
really
now?
what you want to do?
Whatever could you mean?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Whether as a killer or as a father, there are two things that must be avoided at all costs: anger and sorrow. Anger makes you impulsive. Sorrow causes you to waver. Well, it appears it's about time to proceed. Before we arrived, I told some of my well-behaved children to bring our troublemakers here by nightfall. I do believe I've kept my end of the deal. I give your friends quite a bit more time. As for what happens now, we'll just have to wait and see.
And suddenly the music kicks in.
Here they are, Father.
Oh, you gonna execute him? Seeing something like that would actually be a first for me. Lenny!
I'm sorry. I heard about how you helped buy us more time.
Wait, how is she here?
But I still failed. I couldn't find a way to fulfill her wish.
Somehow hiding in the shadows.
Are you... Perry?
Indeed, it's been a while, Clairvy.
Perry!
Shh, stay right there. I'm sorry to postpone our reunion, but first I believe certain scores need settling.
No, we're gonna get a cutscene.
Father, let me explain.
Out of my way.
Father!
You chose to conceal a threat to the house, and for that, you must be punished. Overall, however,
This shit's anime, so it's gonna be something stupid, isn't it?
Of the bunch, so I'll deal with your punishments later. As for right now, the more pressing concerns are the traitors among us.
By traitors? Do you mean us?
Father, let me explain. We didn't mean to...
Fultz, why don't you share what you heard?
Yes, Father. Secret Midnight Meeting number 3. Participants, Filial, Nantoy, Sato, Toddy. Nantoy
Nice
clearly
mission
said,
report.
"If only Father wasn't the one who took us in." Sato added, "I'm sick of this life. I just want to live as a normal person." Filial was the worst of them all. She called us crazies and said a bunch of mean things about Father.
I did not! You're lying! Fultz is trying to frame us.
It's not like I'm the only one who heard those things. After that, you and Toddy and a bunch of other people started talking about Clairvy. You were using all those things Clairvy brought up as an excuse to question Father. We're birds locked in a cage. The only way out is to destroy it. That's what you said, wasn't it?
You little... You just want me gone, don't you? What did I ever do to you, huh? And you, Sheplo, have you forgotten who stood by your sickbed, watched over you, and changed your dressings? Come on, let's hear it then. What's your reason for all this?
Uh-oh, trouble in paradise.
You're wrong, Filial. We don't want you to die. You're our family.
Liar. You wouldn't be doing this if that were the case. So why? Why have you backed us into a corner?
We all live in the House of the Hearth. You know the type of work we do, Filial.
Just one execution after another.
A single betrayal can cost dozens of us our lives. It's not like it's never happened before. That kind of thing is hard to forget. That's why the House of the Hearth cannot tolerate any form of betrayal. Ever since we came to Poisson, you've had 7 secret meetings. A lot of the things you talked about really crossed the line.
You've been spying on us for half a month?
Oh, yeah.
Wait a second.
About
Now
that.
that I think about it, the move to Poisson was just a way to make it easier to spy on us, wasn't it? Because we were all in one place. You've had this planned all along.
Okay, getting a little bit dramatic, but Arlecchino didn't want to inherit Mother's title, and she didn't want to remember her through that title, but then she calls herself father as if she then won't be able to remember it. It does. Some of the logic, I swear to God.
Filial, Nantoy, I'm sorry. I owe you both my life. I owe Clairvy too. If it weren't for all your help after I got poisoned, I wouldn't be standing here today. If this were any other situation, I would do anything to repay that kindness, even if it cost me my life. But rules are rules. I'm sorry. My hands are tied.
This is Lord of the Flies shit.
Why? Why?
That's enough, Filial. We made a mistake. And
Oh
we
yeah, I was
should
supposed to
own
make a
up it.
choice here, they said.
We
Do,
broke the rules. Plain and simple.
do I get to tell her to just
Now we
execute
have
all
to
of
face
them?
the consequences. I'm sorry, Chaplot. Faults. I'm sorry, Father.
Difficult? No. Annoying? Yes. And the reason is the same shit as usual. The fucking shields. I have to bring in a custom hydro team just to deal with the fire shields, for fuck's sake. Only had to do it twice.
We accept our punishment.
More money though, yay. Well, try more gems. But does that matter? Was that the difference?
Chaplot, according
The
to
change that we're gonna
rules of
make?
the House of the Hearth, how should these traitors be punished?
I thought I was gonna make the
Those who
decision.
betray the house, pay with their lives.
And so it shall be.
This game is like so
Father,
rated
please
T for
wait.
teen.
Something
Like
you want
all
to
of this
say, Lily?
is just gonna end in disappointment
Please
for me, and I know
reconsider,
it.
Father. What Filial and the others did, does it really count as betrayal? We all come from broken families. From the very first day we joined the House of the Hearth, we wanted nothing more than to make it a real home. But the truth is, none of us know what a real home should look like. I'm not saying I have all the answers.
Well, this is pretty
All I
close,
know
right?
is this. Killing Filial and the others may uphold the rules.
Putting your friends and
but
family on the
doing so
chopping
will
block.
only bring us further away from being a real family than we've ever been. So please, Father, please reconsider.
Is this
I
even
agree,
supposed to
Lily.
be quote unquote like a real family?
Father, please.
No, not the penguin!
Lily,
Spare the penguin!
I also agree with Linny.
Uh-oh.
An
What about
order
Faults the
once given
Betrayer?
cannot be rescinded. However, given the extent of your determination, I suppose we shall have to go about this a different way. Draw your weapons and face me.
Our weapons?
Father, are
Ah,
you
yes,
referring
how
to the
every
duel?
household should be run.
Precisely. The rules of the house will not be altered. Traitors must be punished. However, resolving disputes with a duel is also one of our rules, one that also applies to me. Demonstrate a sufficient showing of strength, and I shall offer a concession.
Wait. Beat Father in a duel?
Dude, it's gonna be fine.
Impossible.
My rating's even
Father
stronger
is
now for
way
some
too
reason.
strong, even for Lenny.
Even for the twink? No way! And... Oh no! He's got a card! Everybody get down! And Boogie. Whoa!
Did you hear that, Traveler? Lenny and the
Hey,
others
what's
have
with
to
the
deal
tone?
with a knave. What should we do? Can they really win something like that?
I'm sorry. If it's the three of them versus the knave, how can you call it a duel? A duel implies two people. This is like a quadrille.
If they lose, those people from the house are really going to be executed. Hey, are you listening?
Yeah, it's fine. I got a party. Is execute them really what she wants? Nope. Is this the point where I'm supposed to make a decision?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Oh my god,
Anger
it
makes
just
you
happened.
impulsive. Sorrow causes you to waver.
I like how they have flashbacks to things that happened, goddamn, 3 minutes ago. Correct, she never did. But that makes the answer pretty obvious, doesn't it?
Looking at that expression on her face, she seems really serious about this. Guess that means there's no chance she's throwing the duel on purpose, huh?
There's no way that Nate would lose on purpose.
When
Also,
guests are around, families are often on their best behavior. And any disputes are less likely to escalate.
When the time comes, make
Is
the
that my
choice
role
that
here?
you deem most
Make her
appropriate in
embarrassed
the
about
situation,
arguing?
and lend your help to the House of the Hearth.
I say, is that gonna be the only reason she doesn't kill her kids? It's like, ah man, if I did this publicly, that would be embarrassing. I'm saving the execution till we get back home. Just you wait, mister.
What's wrong, Traveler? Hey, where are you going?
Traveler?
Gonna let it play out. I like to see for myself what the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers can
You're
do.
asking to join the duel against the knave?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's already 3 of them. What the
I'll
hell's
allow
one
it.
more?
We do have a ready-made dueling ring at our disposal,
Allow
after
it.
all I would advise is this.
Allow it, fam.
Keep a firm grasp on your weapon, and give it your all. Any less, and you may just lose your life.
Firm grasp on your weapon or she might steal it. And then you have to re-roll with all your promos. Cutscene? Or combat? La 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 la.
Spare your energy. Running is
I-
of little use.
I am sparing my energy. Okay, I'll do what you do.
Now's our chance!
Spare your energy. Running is of little use.
Uh-oh. Oh, she's moving. Oh, Jesus. No. I'm sparing my energy. I'm following your advice.
Closer now.
Over here!
Yeah, you get him. Dude, I'm doing a pacifist run. Oh. Just one problem. The shield can do damage.
Stabilize.
With these rising flames.
Uh-oh.
Spare your energy.
Look out!
For what? Oh, nice job.
There is no escape!
Order guide you. Gather.
Game's up.
Now that's more
Growl, growl, growl! Make yourself a move!
rising flames.
Watch out for Father's movements.
I don't wanna. I just wanna hit him. No! Damn it, she watched out for mine!
Of darkness.
She made me whiff.
Shall rise.
Hey, now, chill.
Stabilize. This is order.
The Temple of Wisdom! Father's even stronger than I expected.
Oh, Jesus. Whoops. Why am I acting worried? And you know what? They deserve the final hit. Can I do that? Dude. Learn to gauge the range. Do it! No. The ones in the back are just watching. Oh, that's right. There's a phase 2. What the fuck? She's pulling a lady butterfly. I think there might have been collateral damage. The orphans were right on the edge of that. Cinder of 2 worlds. Something, something, something. Oh, don't worry, I got a rusty sword. Whoa, what the fuck? How was that fair? What the shit was that?
Share my knowledge!
Dude, she was already attacking by the time the cutscene ended? Are you shitting me?
Over here!
That's it.
Torn to oblivion!
Actually gonna hit her with my burst now.
Only the beginning.
Okay, kids. What? Watch out for a fire spider. Just using all the anime tropes.
You should know better than to crowd in one place.
Also, based on the shape of the weapon, that would not work. It's a scythe. The blade curves inward.
Oh, I know.
That's why I use my trump card.
I'm sorry, Father!
Oh, you see that? Twisted the sword so that they'd hit with the flat of the blade.
Sorry for what? This pitiful excuse for an attack.
Yes, that one. Wow, she's really in control here, huh? Going after them all of a sudden!
Father, no!
This doesn't make sense!
Made it out, did you?
Why am I so weak all of a sudden?
You're stronger than I expected.
What, did she curse me?
A crimson moon.
Hey, it's just like Raiden's playing with Euthymia.
I can't move.
Well, you got a firm grip on your weapon, please, like she said. Whoa! It's a mama! Good job. I don't remember being that tall.
Not strong enough to beat me.
That wasn't the fire symbol on her vision. Does the delusion change the appearance of the vision? Or did it just replace it? Okay, well, what happens then? Jesus Christ, those are some stiletto-ass heels. straight
believe we
down.
can end things here. It's not often that we get to enjoy the company of guests, after all. We wouldn't want things to get too out of hand.
So like I said, the execution would be too embarrassing. Let's save it for later. I guess you could say his attack crumpled like a house of cards. Yeah, that's what I thought too, but shouldn't the vision still have the pyro symbol on it? This one had like a weird 4-circle thing on it.
Brother, are you alright?
Lenny.
But yeah, like, I remember Child throwing away his vision and said, "Don't worry, I have my delusion."
Given that I am the victor of this duel, as agreed, the punishment stands.
No!
I never thought things would end like this.
However, everyone involved in the duel demonstrated a remarkable level of strength and determination. In light of this, I'm prepared to change the method of execution.
Ooh, I'm gonna tickle you to death. Ooh.
Elwar, the bottled flames I gave you for safekeeping. Do you still have them?
Bottled flames?
Yes. I
Like
wasn't
fire
sure what
water,
they
as in
were,
alcohol?
but I've kept them super safe. I didn't lose a single one.
Break out the champagne!
Wonderful. Then, in just a moment, I'll have you administer them.
Bottled flames?
Indeed,
Or is this like
they're the product of a secret experiment.
poison you
Under
inject into the
certain
veins and
special
it hurts like
circumstances,
fire?
Flames can be extracted from my person and preserved. Once ingested,
Why?
searing pain will spread across every inch of your body. No harm will come to you physically, but your memories will be burned away. If you can withstand the pain, when you awake, you'll have forgotten everything you know about the House of the Hearth, and will be expelled from the organization. In other words,
What?
administering
You could have done this the whole
concoction
time.
will kill the version of you that grew up in the house and give you a new identity.
Oh. So that means the young man I thought looked familiar, the one selling newspaper outside the Palais Memoria. He must have been the same horaire we saw on the list of executions. Wasn't killed at all.
Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self.
Just see anybody with dementia. If my understanding of the name is right, he really thinks of that as killing him. The rare that lived in the House of the Heart is dead. The one that remains is simply a normal person living out his life with his beloved. Even so, it's much better than actually ending their lives.
So, you're just letting us go, Father?
Yes, go to hell.
You misunderstand. Memories are extremely important. Once consumed by flame, the version of you standing before me will die, and our secrets will die with you. So no, I don't intend to just let you go, because the person who survives will be nothing but a stranger.
Even so, I won't have to live in fear anymore. I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry I let you down. But I really...
Don't cry, Filial. You haven't left the house yet, so there are still rules to be followed, yes? Remember what I taught you. Anger makes you impulsive, sorrow causes you to waver. Don't let yourself be controlled by your emotions.
Of course. I'll remember.
Dry
Damn,
your
those are
tears,
big-ass
and go
tears.
pursue the life you really want.
Yes, Father.
And they're gone.
Chaplot, Foltz, Elwar. Take them back to Poisson. And bring Linny and the others as well. I prepared 3 extra vials of bottled flames. As for whether to take them, the choice is yours. Goodbye, children. The next time we meet, I will no longer be your father. Thank you.
See, there's the
for
pyro
all
symbol
you've
on her
done for
back.
the house. I hope you have bright futures ahead of you.
Father,
That's it. Yes, hang your
Let's
heads in
go.
shame.
Here, grab my arm, Lemmy. I'll help you walk back.
Thank you.
I wonder if she changes when you press E or activate one of the modes when you play her.
Clearly.
But Child wasn't able to use his delusion when he got him, so what do I know? Then again, he changed elements, so... Yes, what now?
Can we talk now? I've been waiting for a super long time.
No,
You
illegal.
really are Perry, aren't you? I haven't seen you in so long. How come you're all grown up?
How come
Wait,
you're so young?
did I somehow travel to the future on accident?
How come you're all grown
Or am I
down?
dreaming? What a long dream.
Neither. You died, Clairvy. That's what happened.
You could have at least sugarcoated it a little. Look, she's done speechless.
This really is Clary's younger self. I know her series has probably had enough lies.
Oh. Okay then. That's it? You accepted it just like that? Yep. If that's what Perry says happened, then I believe her. Perry wouldn't lie to me. Plus, I don't really need to know why I'm like
Yes,
this.
behold the face of
I'm
truth.
more curious about what happens in the future. If you're a harbinger now, Perry, that means Mother is gone, isn't she? Can you
And thank
tell
God for
me
that.
about it? I want to know what happened to her. And to me.
You never stopped trying to defy fate. At first, no one believed you. You could only vent your frustrations to the moon. In fact, you often sought comfort in the night sky. You wanted to see the aurora, so one night we promised each other we would go to Snezhnaya to see it together. Later on, you tried to run away, but you were brought back each time. Mother spared your life, but it wasn't out of kindness. Instead, she decided to make an example of you by slowly torturing you over time.
Jesus.
That way, the other children would know what happens to traitors. Still, you never gave up.
Oh, that's how
Mother
you raise a
hoped that
family.
through ruthless duel after ruthless duel, she would be able to crown an ultimate victor among the children she raised. But you called on everyone to unite, to fight to a draw in order to reduce casualties. Your efforts may have only delayed the inevitable, but still. You gave them hope. You tried everything you could think of, but every attempt ended in failure. Still, you never turned your sword on Crucibina, and you never turned it on me. On that gloomy day, you told me, "For the last 16 years of my life, I've done everything I can to fight for freedom. But now, I realize that the only freedom I truly possess is the freedom to choose to die."
I never imagined I would
Could have
say
hung out a
something
little
like
longer.
that. I must have been feeling really worn down. But somehow, I still think I understand. According to Mother's plan,
If she waited just a little bit
only one
longer,
of us was going to
she would have
make
killed
it
Mom and
until
she would have been
the
free.
end. And I always hoped that person would be you. If I could do it all over again, I still don't think I would make a different choice. Even when I first met you, I knew you'd be able to do what I couldn't.
Is that so?
Something about that
Even
voice
now, I'm not sure I truly understand
is really
what kind
grating.
of freedom you were trying to pursue. But as the head of the House of the Hearth and as the children's father, I've tried to give them the most basic of freedoms. The freedom to choose their own fate. It's something I discussed with the Eudex of Fontaine. The children who want to leave the house will have their memories wiped clean of all secrets pertaining to the organization. In return, they will be allowed to live a normal life in Fontaine without being prosecuted for their past.
Ah
Of
yes, the
course,
tainted
I
water.
won't simply hand freedom to them on a silver platter. They have to fight for it and prove themselves worthy of it. Only freedom that is earned has true value.
That's
What
more
a
than
platitude.
enough. That's exactly the kind of life I was fighting for. You know, Perry, I think you're a pretty amazing king, and a really great father, too. I'm
The
really happy that you're the one who took over the house. I guess I do have one regret, though. I still haven't seen the outside world.
Well, it just so happens that our dear guests over here have been to many nations and traveled to countless places. Perhaps they would be willing to tell you what the outside world is like.
No, 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 no.
Really?
Don't put this on me.
Of course!
No!
We've traveled all over the place. We've got so many stories, we could probably talk
Okay.
your ears off for 3 days.
It's up to you,
straight.
Paimon. I'm not doing diddly shit. No!
Those yokai you mentioned, what do they look like? I once saw a drawing of this one
Like
guy
raccoons.
with horns on his head and a super scary face. Are there any yokai like that?
Ah, yes, the one and only.
Sounds like you're talking about an oni. Yep, we've met one, and let Paimon tell you, they're not nearly as scary as they look.
Hi. What? Do I have to go through all of them?
I used to dream of being a bard, playing the lute while singing into the winds of freedom. Even if there was no one there to listen, I would have continued to sing no matter what.
Good for you, kid. Are we done here? Oh.
Ah, that's where Mora comes from. I never knew that before. If I had some Mora, I would buy 3 new dresses. One for me, one for Perry, and one for Mother.
Sounds a little weird that the entire world's currency comes from one nation. Just me? Like the levers of power there seem like they're a little tilted to one side.
It's just too bad Perry doesn't like wearing dresses. And Mother, well, she probably wouldn't accept something like that either. I guess I just have to keep them all for me.
So she's
then.
wearing a
I
powerful
could wear a different one
pantsuit.
every day. I was always too afraid to skip Mother's fighting lessons. But at the academia, I bet you could do all sorts of secret things in class. Things that have nothing to do
Avada
with
Kedavra.
studying. I'm just kidding. Being able to study whatever you want without having to fear for your life actually sounds pretty great.
I don't think most
The
schools have you
situation was
worrying about your
super
life.
dangerous. Lenny and Lynette were accused of committing a crime.
Maybe that's just
We
my
were going to have
upbringing.
to stand
My
trial at the opera
privileges
anyway.
were really bleeding through.
Oh no! That must have been hard for all of you. What happened next?
We all died.
Don't worry. We were able to turn the situation around super quickly. All thanks to Detective Paimon, of course. How'd you do that? Come on, tell me.
Why isn't that permanent?
So it was like this. After the failed magic show, we rushed to the scene and...
Trevor's listening really intently. She seems really happy, like all her troubles have been forgotten. This is the first time she's ever truly been able to relax, but I'm not sure how long this moment can
Shadows
last.
don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any new information they encounter is quickly forgotten over time.
So get ready to kill her. Oh, Jesus. Whoops. I was so busy thinking I almost didn't notice the sun has risen. She'll turn to ash.
Clairvy, you've worked tirelessly from the shadows to overthrow the House of the Hearth. Now,
Prepare
by
to
my
die.
authority as the knave, I shall announce how this matter ends. You are hereby expelled from the House of the Hearth. You are no longer tied to this place. Nor are
That
you
shadow's
bound
moving
by
pretty
its
fast.
rules.
You're saying that I can finally leave? I get to experience the outside world as well? Oh, I almost forgot. There's no getting older for me. Still, up to be. Makes me really happy, Parallel.
That shadow slowed down fast after it caught up to her, huh?
May we meet again someday.
Something really funny about seeing these aesthetics and techniques for emotional manipulation in something that I just don't have the emotional investment in. But like the scenes themselves are like pretty well executed. And I feel like that actually goes really far with a lot of people. It's sort of how I felt about Kimetsu no Yaiba, Blade of the Demon Slayer, or just Demon Slayer, whatever the hell people call it. You had this one scene that was just insanely over the top. So good. The actual show itself is just aggravating on average. Yes, I'm talking about weeby stuff.
She left so soon.
We just killed a 6-year-old, okay?
I also have certain
Deal with it.
left unsaid.
Fav character in what?
I wanted to tell her that the aurora I saw in Snezhnaya was just as beautiful as the ones in the pictures.
Butterfly Girl is both cool and annoying, don't you think? Yes. Just like the show itself. Michael Jackson, because he looks funny. Because he's Michael Jackson.
But a shadow's memories reset at dawn. Had we delayed any longer, we wouldn't have had the time to say goodbye.
Because you have that one fucking dude who just screams the entire way through. And there's like nothing really going on between the fight scenes. So you get just as good of a experience by looking up the fight scenes on YouTube and just skipping all the context. I mean, he's annoying too. And the main character is just sort of boring. And they don't create like a foil to his character. So you don't get to experience like the contrast of his way of thinking. So you just have these weird moments that have no real impact, where he somehow has insight into their pasts and like treats the demons with kindness before he kills them, but doesn't seem to have any real value. Because you don't see any impact of that, and you don't see any characters doing the contrary, or seeing anything play out around those themes. Who the fuck is Giyu? Discussing.
Whatever regrets may linger, let them be lost to the coming of a new day.
Tomioka-san? I don't remember all these fucking names. The less I remember, the better. Inosuke was the pig man, though. That's all I really know. And it's easy to remember because, as far as I remember, Ino just means pig.
Father?
No, it's not. What am I saying? It's Buddha. I think it might be boar. That's what it translates to.
What is he doing back here? Let's go check it out.
So I'd rather have the slayers not slay demons. No. I'd rather them slay demons. But if they're not gonna do anything with the themes that they have, they might as well skip them. So having the scenes after they've killed the demons where they just go, ah, I can smell this person's past. He was just killing because his sister died or some dumb shit. It's like, the demons acted like such total assholes during every second they've been alive that they are irredeemable. So suddenly throwing in like a sad past at the very last second does nothing. Don't remember. Okay. What about the spider demon? Wait, who was the spider demon? What's the spider demon? I remember neither spider... Oh, wait.
Father, the bottled flames have been administered. Filio and the others have left the house.
There are several spider people. A veritable army of Spider-Men. What, they all had shit lives and they still kill people constantly, non-stop. Oh, you mean the executioner where she's just like, ah, finally. Yeah, sure.
And you?
Don't
What
you
have
remember?
decided?
God, you've got such a way with words. Your poetry.
Thank you for giving us that choice, Father. But we never wanted to leave the house. It's the only home we've ever known. Lynette and Fremine feel the same way. They're recuperating back at the Hotel Bouffe Tété. But I decided to come back and tell you where we stood.
Yeah, but everything is happening in the wrong order. You don't get catharsis because you don't know about her past. It's just they kill her and then they tell you why you should be sad about it after the fact. Like, in terms of narrative build-up, makes no sense. Yes.
I'm sure you're well aware of the expectations I have for you.
I was like,
I want
it's one of
you
the,
to follow in my footsteps.
it's
and
one of those
become the
things
next
that anime
king of
keeps
the
doing that
house.
drives me fucking
Yet
nuts.
you seem to have different ideas.
Like, I remember Naruto doing the same sort of shit where they hadn't given any insight into one of the characters they were fighting. So in the middle of the fight, they have like a fucking 20 episode flashback explaining to you like what this person's past is, so that you can then go back to the fight and now have some investment into both sides. It's so shit. You shouldn't be doing this. It's terrible. You've already... It's like stopping an orgasm. Like, they have all the build-up, then they cut it off, restart, and then have the build-up again into the fight. It's so stupid. I think they barely show diddly shit. Either way, I also don't care because all of them are fucking committing murder all the goddamn
I
time.
must admit, I'm rather surprised by your decision to stay. There's nothing wrong with choosing to live a quiet life. Leading
was
this
sad.
organization is a heavy responsibility, one not so easily carried by someone forced onto the throne.
I mean, if you want to have a backstory, you have to do it before the battle. But also, anime has the most retarded interpretation of show don't tell, which is that they show the entire person's past in a flashback. There are ways to show and not tell, which is that you show part of a person's personality or history through their actions, through the things that they say, and do less with more. And there are shows and stories and games and all kinds of pieces of media that are able to do this and just works so much better. Yeah. It's like if you've already started the battle, we now have momentum. You don't just cut that off because you fucked up and forgot to give a backstory. Like, shove that in ahead of time. Also, using like bits and pieces of a flashback can function as build-up, where you get to see some of the characters, some of the past, and you get like nuggets of information and context for their motivations. You need motivations for the fights to be like invested in the fights. So like, a lot of times there isn't actually anything wrong with having a character like be pure evil just because they're supposed to be there as a foil to the main character and just to be an obstacle. But if you basically establish the character as being that, and then you started the fight, like trying to change that premise is so clunky. And I tried so many times getting through the final part of Naruto because of that stupid shit. Like, what is her name? Like, you basically have this demon woman be resurrected, and her goal is like the complete enslavement of humanity or some shit. So it's like you have a character so close to pure evil as you can possibly get it, and then they suddenly decide to add a backstory in the middle of that instead of just letting her be that thing. And like, she worked fine as that thing. Why do they need the backstory? What do you mean vocab? Vocabulary? I don't know what you mean by that.
I just never understood what you saw in me. What made you believe I was deserving of that throne?
Yeah, but why does this have to be said? Like, the character they're fighting, again, just functioned as basically pure evil. Like, the important part wasn't whether or not to let them live. The important part was they had to win, or otherwise it's like game over completely. That's vocab as in the good words he used. Okay, I don't know what that has to do with the conversation at hand. So you mean how everything is phrased? What is a proper term for that? I don't think narrative is correct. There's like something referred to as the voice of the book, which is just how everything is written. But I think there's a more technical term for that. That's not true. A lot of anime is very poetic, but it's... Or is poetic the correct term? It's like flowery. Like the visuals, the audio, a lot of those things can be very ornamental. Like again, the animation in Kimetsu no Yaiba, when they have the fight with the spider dude and he does his fucking fire wheel attack or whatever the shit. That's incredibly like over the top animated. It's built up really well, the voice work and everything. The motivations are also really clear. There's like a clash of wills that they built up really well. And they do everything that anime does well in that show. But like the fundamental thematic elements that might be worth exploring like aren't even there. Like what is the underlying theme of Demon Slayer? Like in Naruto, it's like pretty much the power of friendship. That's actually what it is. It's like he meets so many people where no matter what, like he doesn't kill anybody. He just talks them into submission and just says, "You're my friend now," and that's how it is. Have you watched you? What do you mean? Um, I wonder if I've seen... not advertisements for it. I think I might have seen it on one of the streaming services, but I don't know anything about it.
You're brave, talented,
And most importantly,
you cherish your family.
okay, but how do you explain all the focus on the other demons and their backgrounds and the demon slayers and their stories if it's all about him protecting his sister? Because every time you shift focus from that, you're diluting the main theme. The main theme is usually something more underlying. I mean, I'm not writing the show. It's not up to me. The problem isn't even a choice of theme. The problem is there doesn't seem to be one. It's like the term all flash and no bang. It's like, it's very aesthetic, visually pleasing. The scenes sort of stand on their own, but the context for the scenes just don't matter.
You would do anything to protect them, even if it costs you your life.
Naruto is pretty much all about friendship. It's like, if you see all the characters' backgrounds, a lot of the time it's about how they haven't had any good relationships, and then Naruto shows up and fixes that for them by just being their friend or some dumb shit like that. It's like, it's sort of superficial and funny at times. And like, that's part of why, well, not purely friendship, it's like relationships. Some of it is also familial. That's why the themes of his rival, what is it again, Sasuke? He's like, they tried to make him good again, but the reason he functioned as a rival is because he never got to have a family like Naruto did. Like, they both grew up as orphans, but Naruto managed to develop connections while Sasuke didn't. Like, that's supposed to be the theme, but then they also fumble it along the way and sort of try to make Sasuke a good guy again. It just ends up being a fucking mess, but the themes are there. They just, you know, fucking... What? How much have you seen of it? Don't worry, they all die in the end.
Speaking up back there was so brave of you, Linny. It's all thanks to you that we were able to convince Father to back down.
You're a hero, Linny.
You hear that?
Hero.
He's a hero.
Father is the real hero. Had Father gone all out during the duel, there's no way I would have walked away with my life. She must have had it all planned from the beginning. From the very moment she suggested
Yeah, I was some Tokyo Revengers. The setup reminds me of 999. Zero Time Dilemma shit. It also reminds me of some other animes with this... I don't know how to put it. It's like... The actual premise in Tokyo Revengers is the time skip shit, but the feel of it makes it feel like a game show, the way they're constantly trying to figure out the consequences of each action and going like back and forth between the consequences. Yeah, that ridiculous one. But like... I don't know, it doesn't do much for me. Like, the premise is fine, the execution is just kind of boring because I don't care really about the characters. It feels like a butchered version of Steins Gate. Steins Gate is fucking insane in how it utilizes the premise. It actually explores it properly. Yeah, Steins Gate is pretty well known. I think there are different versions of it. I don't think it's gone as insane as Evangelion, but like, I think there were slightly different versions. Or maybe there are like extra episodes and I'm just fucking it up. It is an anime. I'm considering rewatching it because I remember it being really well done in almost every realm. But I was so fucking sleep deprived that I don't actually remember the story properly. I just remember it being emotionally resonant. But I remember respecting a lot of the plot elements and how they wove together, while including the element of time travel and how it fucked with a lot of different elements of the story. And I've also reached the point where I have a really hard time finding things I find worth watching, so I might as well go back and rewatch some of the ones that are good. Yeah, that's the problem I had.
I'm not deserving of that title. I'm not strong enough or smart enough.
Well, I was trying to get through it.
In my opinion, all you need to be deserving of the throne is conviction and the necessary strength to act on it. We may have different ideas of what it means to be a family, but you can hardly be said to lack conviction. What you truly
watching it for the
lack is
primals.
strength. For someone of your talent, though, that's
And the entertainment of talking shit over them. When I'm able to focus on them anyway. Who isn't looking for recommendations?
Even without that strength, you still chose to face me in a duel, even though the odds were stacked against you. That capacity to honor your convictions is what I truly see in you.
This is also a pretty common trope in anime that I find sort of funny, which is doing stupid shit, not thinking things through, but just going for it anyway, and having the other person seeing it as strength of conviction as opposed to failure to plan and execute. It's just funny to me. Very consistent. Oh yeah, I saw that on was it Disney Plus? I think that's where I saw it. I haven't started it. It's actually good. I want a new season of Ranking of Kings. There might be one, actually. I'm not paying attention to anything in that community.
Father.
Oh!
No one knows what the future holds, what tragedy or triumph may be in store. Being at the head of this organization requires the strength of will to face whatever comes. Caution will only hold you back.
See? It's like, just go for it. Don't plan, don't think. Just stick to your convictions.
If reaching a certain standard were required to go after what you want, I would never have succeeded in killing my predecessor. Back then,
I mean,
there was still a considerable
it can be
gap
the...
between our abilities.
It could be that version, but it doesn't necessarily mean the execution is good. Could also be the shit version of the boys. Oh, cheap viewers? Oh, thank you. I think mine are cheap enough, though. What the shit? Inky? The Finky?
Strength may decide the ultimate victor, but those who let a lack of strength dictate their decisions or undermine their convictions will never be worthy of the throne.
And those without a realistic understanding of their strength will die.
I understand, Father.
Oh, it took you this long to notice he's there.
Children must grow up to surpass their parents. Only then can a family continue to flourish. The road ahead is not an easy one, so I'll ask you one last time. Are you certain you want to stay?
Aren't I always?
You've done so much for me, Father, and that kindness must be repaid. Plus, with Project Stuja at hand, there are many
What does
dangers
this translate to?
and I, for one, don't intend to back down.
Maybe you should.
Protecting my family at all costs.
I can't take that line seriously. What's good, you-woo?
Then you're welcome to stay. As for Project Stuja, you need not be too concerned. If those cowardly businessmen and heartless dignitaries try to take us down, I'm prepared to teach them a lesson.
Okay, can I know more about this?
For the light was our organization's last weakness. With those members no longer among our ranks, the House of the Hearth is like a spider hiding in the shadows. We need only wait for our prey to come to us.
Hey, I'm busy reading here. Don't talk shit about my...
At present, our imperative is to use their plan to our advantage. In doing
Okay,
so,
let me Google this.
A crimson moon shall rise amid the frigid blizzards of winter. No demonstration of loyalty shall go unrewarded, and no sacrifice shall be in vain.
What does Stuja translate to? Oh, it just means cold? Okay, well, that's simple. She has a YouTube account, by the way. Might I remind you? What the fuck? I don't even know what you're implying. No demonstration of loyalty shall go unrewarded. No sacrifice shall be in vain.
View, whether we meet again as friend or foe, I'll remember the camaraderie we shared in this moment.
I always, like, the way this is spelled never made any sense to me because I always associated with the word comrade. And then here it's camaraderie.
No matter how arduous the journey ahead, I hope
maybe you stole.
Reach our
Ever think of that?
Destination.
Got him. Waiting until 2 days later. No! Wait! It's been like an hour and a half. I still haven't finished a single point of the commission. Are you kidding me? Ugh. And a wop ba baloo ba wop bam boom. This feels like waiting for the microwave to finish. Okay, so how's life? How's everything going with everyone? Anything interesting to mention? Made any big life changes recently? Happy with the direction your life is heading, etc.? Any big juicy regrets to share?
Hovering at the Hotel Booth d'été? Oh, Paimon wonders how they're doing. Maybe we should go check on them.
Ooh, realizations, huh? Are you finally admitting you're gay? You couldn't even finish the sentence. Why are you gay? I love that video too god much. Uganda is an interesting place. I've realized how people online are willing to lower their standards just because they're lonely or naive. You say online, everybody's willing to do that. It's just that proximity is a mitigator for tribalism. When you have a lot of different opinions within close spatial proximity, it forces you to be more accepting of other opinions. But since online you can find... it's fine. I skip the dots most often because I can't find the goddamn umlauts. I don't even know why there are 2 dots. I've never figured out what the point of those are. What they're supposed to represent. Too arrogant and love to change themselves. Yeah, but do you think that represents the majority? That's what we're talking in generalities. Also, finishing this. Damn it. I thought it was gonna kill the penguin. It should have exploded into the chicken thighs. Drumsticks. Yeah, usually.
Much better. Whew, what a relief!
Oh, because they're usually lonely, or they're willing to forgive you easier, for example. Yeah, me specifically. Not other people, just me.
What about you? Are you feeling alright?
Red as rain.
Come out unscathed. Us, on the other hand, well, we've been bedridden for 2 days.
Exactly.
I couldn't even turn over.
Huh.
Oh, and I wanted to...
Maybe we should have stretched.
Is Claire V... gone?
It's fine, the feeling's mutual. Yeah, Clary's gone permanently. She turned to dust.
Saw him return to the House of the Hearth. According to him, there haven't been any more sightings of a spirit roaming the house.
We bid her farewell under a blanket of sunlight. Does that make sense? Isn't the term blanket of moonlight supposed to work that way because the light is light? It's mild. Oh well.
I see.
You insult easily too. I've never insulted anyone. It's just your banal sensitivities that are
I'm glad.
too hard to cater to.
Father came to check up on us 2 days ago and told us about
Also,
what
you're one
happened
to
with
talk.
Sabina and Clarity.
Always.
Actually, I've met Sabina before.
I wonder if I can deactivate that shit. Should be able to. Oh yeah, of course.
Wait, what? You've met her?
Sabina's a funny name to me. Yeah, me too. How come you can't handle it?
Sabina died a year after Clarity. It was during the year between their deaths that I joined the House of the Hearth.
Whoa. You see, if she just hung on 1 year longer, Clarity would have been free. What a quitter. I didn't. I pointed out it was funny seeing somebody use a real name when they're stuck between people like Franku, Yu Mia, and people named like Turbotaint 2000 and Gobbler of Anus and shit like that. And then you have George W. Bush or some random shit like that. Just like a normal ass name in the middle of everything is just weird to me.
Sabina had an extremely cruel
John Smith
and way
and
of doing things. While she was
Cock
alive,
Gobbler.
the atmosphere in the house was suffocating.
She took it really personally though.
When I joined, though, the experiment she valued so much had already come to an end, and all the people involved, dead and injured alike, were gone. Sabina never talked about the past with us newcomers.
Probably because she wasn't written to have one.
A couple of months after I joined, Father killed Sabina and burned all her files. With that, the names of all the people subjected to her experiments, Claire V included, were lost to the flames, along with the painful memories they represented.
Like, have you seen like credits of some old video games? Because for some reason in those credits, they used a lot of like nicknames instead of the real names. So you had the same sort of dynamic where you had like one-liner bullshit names and then actual names mixed in with them. It was just really weird. It's a good time. You also have the opposite effect when you're going through a perfectly normal credit sequence with normal names, and then suddenly, like, Cum Guzzler 5000 is there. Like, what the hell? Like, I just don't expect it. Doesn't... Oh, yeah, no, just use YouTube then, for fuck's sake. Doesn't... How the hell does the Twitch player work again? Because you can sort of, like, go back on the parts that you've already watched, right? Like, it has some sort of data streaming, right? What, do you want me to read it for you? He said I did insult someone's name, kind of.
Father took in Lenny and me a couple months after that, but she never mentioned anything about Crucibina or Clairvy.
And then I also replied, but he didn't, I did. Well, fucking goddammit. Do you have to go through this again? I didn't insult their name. I just started laughing when I read their name because I said, it's weird for me to see such a normal name in an online forum. Like, in a normal chat or in the comment section, where people have, like, these weird-ass names. Suddenly there's Emily J. Clark or something. Just... Okay, right next to Cum Guzzler 5000 and Fun Between the Buns and Help My Dick's Too Big or some stupid shit like that. Like, why the fuck? Because there's so many stupid-ass names, seeing a normal one makes me laugh. What? Were you there for that? I don't know. Must have gone through the old video. I don't remember seeing you. I remember Frankie being there. Sound like I was choking my words there. Anyway. Crucibina. Half as tasteful as Ribena.
It really seems like something she was planning to keep to herself. The last time you talked to her, did she mention why she kept it a secret for so long?
Nah.
She said she didn't want us to be affected by the darkness of the past. She was worried we'd develop a false sense of gratitude towards her if we knew about it.
Yeah, he, for some reason, had his full name as a username and was ready to play Dota 2, where it's a type of game that people tend to get really mad. So it's like, why would you use your full name where they could just Google it and find your address? That is a bold move. Jesus Christ. I should have let him do it. Oh, no, I did stop him. And it wouldn't have actually been funny if they'd escalated. But it's just so funny because, like, he's played video games, so I thought he'd know that part. But he acted genuinely surprised when I pointed out you might not use your full real name online. Christ.
The foundation of a family should be free of any corrupting influence. Whatever happened in the past.
Oh yeah, if they wanted to kill like his entire family, I guess I'm in danger. Fucking... You're right, I did it to save myself. I mean, I'm way bit less diplomatic than he is. If anybody's gonna die from an online altercation, it's gonna be me.
Father told us in the end.
But I still thanked her for everything. It was only after hearing about what Crucibina did that I finally realized how insignificant our lives could have been.
Look at that wall of text!
The members of the house meant nothing to her. To say that she valued them in any way even just as a tool, would probably be giving her too much credit.
Ancient brother.
If Father hadn't taken over the House of the Hearth, I probably would have already...
Don't think about that. She's saving you, man.
Father rarely brings up the fact that she saved us. She doesn't believe that being indebted to her should be what ties us together.
Yeah, there are probably better bases for relationships.
But even if we didn't owe her anything, we would still choose to stay. Because this is our home.
Yes. Yes, he is.
We may have arguments or times when we feel wronged. Some people may even choose to leave. But as long as Father is here, we will always have a home.
Yeah, she just might beat the shit out of you every now and then, I guess.
Whether the
What a
path
family.
before us is bathed in sunlight or shrouded in shadow.
Have you gone mad?
We'll follow Father
You
wherever
okay
she
over there?
chooses to go.
How does Discord shorten down to DC for you? That's like Detective Comics.
So I wanted to say thank you for helping us make it through this crisis. Without your help, we could have lost a lot more along the way.
Oh, we didn't do anything, really.
No, in fact, I almost died. Just invite us back as guests, and we'll call it even.
Of course.
And bring out the fire
Welcome
wine.
anytime.
TikTok TT. Yeah, but you also use IG as I guess. So every time you write I guess, I read it as Instagram. It really fucks with me, all these abbreviations you use. Like, just fucking take the time to make yourself clear.
Are Filio and Nantoy okay?
I actually saw them
Nantoya?
at a cafe this morning.
Ooh.
They didn't recognize me. From what I could tell, they were drinking coffee and talking about one of the operas that started running recently.
We should stalk them, see what they're doing now.
Happy. If I had to take a guess, I would say
Wait, how many
they
ended up
finally
leaving?
found the kind of life they always wished for.
Ones where they can sit around drinking coffee. I'm autistic. What do you want from me?
No way.
What is that, a throne? No, wait. What the hell is that? Wall of Hearth? Hey, yo, where you at? Where'd it go? Large furnishing. Still a fireplace. Okay. Yeah, of course you would. Why would you delete Discord? Isn't that an easy way to stay in contact with people? Has your Discord gotten compromised? I thought it had like such a level of anonymity that there wasn't any point in deleting it. Ooh, finally, here we go. Wait, is there more to this? Yeah. Can you say a sentence in every language you know? No.
Every journey has its final day. Don't rush.
Why are you spreading rumors?
Thank you for
No. What's the point? I can use my goddamn brain juices for literally anything. Why this?
Exactly. But none of them believe me.
God damn it, speaking of, I had something I was trying to remember and I've forgotten. God damn it! Hampton for what? To join the Discord server so you can harass them? Was that your plan? Okay, so if I give you Discord privileges, what are you gonna do? Like invite random people so that you can harass them on Discord? Isn't it interesting how the voice sounds different in different languages? Well, that depends on how much you want to change the accent. I used to say that different languages taste different because of how much you change the shape of your mouth to accommodate for different accents. That is true. Also, from what I hear about Discord users, you need to have a certain relationship with children. Oy vey. How the hell do these different communities end up with such terrible reputations? Then again, I don't know if it's just people getting more and more unhinged with accusations. Like Redditors also get accused of being beyond neckbeards at this point. I can harass people at any time. That's no fun. I just want to play, obviously. Yeah, you can harass people at any time. Without repercussions, huh? I think people are just too comfy nowadays. Yes and no. I think people have genuinely comfortable lives, but they feel genuinely uncomfortable in it. Because of the shit you talked about earlier. People have a struggle with connection. So they feel that they have to... What was it you said? Lower their standards? I'm not even sure that's correct, but they compromise a lot. Or not even compromise, they just like straight up don't have or give up on their convictions. I guess I've been inspired by the latest quest. When was the last time you heard somebody answer, I don't know, to a question? I don't know. That kind of answer. Like, just like people slandering Genshin players as vittles. Yeah, like people... I swear to God, if there was any like new community that's going to emerge that gets like a bad reputation or just have bad actors in it, they're just immediately gonna be accused of being pedophiles. I fucking bet my sweet cheeks on it. People say whatever they want and there's no consequences online. Not true. People don't care about consequences outside of their community is the problem. So people act completely unhinged in a lot of contexts. But the second that their own group starts chastising them, their behavior changes real quick. It's fucking pathetic, honestly. How do you define censored? Like, technically, cancelled and censored are pretty closely related. So, again, makes me curious about how you define it. Are there any more golems left? I had to smack the shit out of them last time. Blocked, banned, reported anything that prevents you from speaking your mind. What about simple social repercussions?
I see everything.
Like being ostracized.
Committed to memory.
Is that relevant to you? Like people telling you to get your shit together if you state an opinion. Or, I don't know, the archetypical getting accused of being a Nazi because... I don't know. Saying that a black person could be bad. Or humoring the fact that somebody might have done something, but their color apparently prevents them from being able to do that. You have people who go hard with the logic in the opposite direction.
Game's up. Fun's over. Gotcha. Busted.
What do you mean that's not social? A lot of people attack others online. Does it being online stop it from being social? It's not just an accusation, it's usually an attack when people, how to put it, become too consistent with it. Like if they're willing to take time out of their day to keep shouting that at you, it goes over to harassment pretty fast. Had any interactions like that? Like, to me, it's just wild how far people go with their assumptions and accusations. Definitely. Dude, I never even tried to hide it. How did you not notice how racist I am? Damn it! He died too fast. Made me waste my ult. Do you take that accusation personally or change the way you speak because of it? What racist? Well, I usually try to find out why people would accuse me of something, but it's disappointing how dishonestly people are willing to engage on average. Like, if I try to ask somebody, why do you think this? And they know that they have no real good reason, they won't actually answer it. They'll just shout, I don't have to explain to you why you're racist, you just are, or some dumb shit like that. And then that's just the entire conversation. I mean, if I'm asking somebody a question, I expect people to assume that I'm asking them a question for the sake of getting an answer. Not for the sake of, I don't know, provoke them. I don't know what the assumption is on the other side. But a lot of the time it feels like people are afraid of the direction that a conversation is going to go, so they just try to stop it from moving in any direction at all. Like, I feel safe here, fuck you for trying to move the conversation in any direction. What do you mean? I don't know what you're... I don't know what context you're imagining here, so I don't know how to answer that. Without evidence, you just assume it's a joke. When people say what? Generally, I give people the benefit of the doubt. If the accusation seems wild, I try to assume that it's a joke. And if they push harder over time, then I'm like... Then I try to figure out whether or not it's worth engaging with. Like, that was basically my interaction with the woman I quote-unquote made fun of. Like, again, I thought it was funny seeing her name in that context, and then she just went all out assuming that I was just trying to publicly humiliate her or something, and I'm like, is this reasonable?
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember.
And I just said, well, to myself, fuck it. Let's just take her logic and draw it to the fullest extent. Take it to its logical conclusion. That's an interesting interpretation. Wondering if I should call it a day. When is it? I think I should work out. I haven't been able to do that lately. But haven't you had these sort of interactions yourself? where people just assume the worst and then you can't rationalize with them at all. Like, they won't move from that position. Yeah, of course. Dude, I'm such a beefcake. Bro. Absolute gym jockey right here. What? You antagonize them? What do you mean that's why you talk about controversial stuff all the time? I mean, over time, it'll be true, but
don't run.
People, like, okay, I'm viewing this in an online context, so people with a low investment aren't likely to reply. I like exploring ideas. I don't consider that the same. It looks a lot like debate and arguing, though, when you're trying to juggle multiple perspectives. And especially when people take perspectives personally. But I try to find people who don't take exploration of ideas personally. Because that usually tends to end badly.
Strike a pose.
Solidify.
Yeah, Isaac takes things personally all the time. What are you talking about? That feel accurate to you, huh? Guys with no enthusiasm. I'm right there with him. Enthusiasm takes effort. Why bother? Should have followed the cat into Neverland. I think it is time. What do you mean? I have no enthusiasm. Oh. Oh, well, I can't just go in there? Okay, wait, no. How did this work? Okay, wait, give me a second. Fuck it, I should just save this for next time. It'll be too late for me to work out if I don't do it immediately. I don't talk with enthusiasm. I just chuckle at shit a lot of the time because I find everything to be hopeless. It's a coping mechanism. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bad bugs bite.